Evening and welcome back to another episode of NoQuipSports, your no bullshit source of just sports information. Let's talk about it. Let's get in. Let's get out. We'll call it a day. Today we have the Thursday night matchup, which is also a divisional game with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. The Cleveland Browns are coming in at 0-9. Injury report: they got 7 quarterbacks on their roster. They are carrying 7 out of their 53 as quarterbacks. 5 of them are currently active because they need every single one. There's been several games this year where they've gone through 2, even 3 of them. So anyways, then you got your impact players. You got Terrell Pryor Sr., wide receiver and quarterback. You got Corey Coleman, who's finally back. I think this kid's going to light it up, absolutely. I mean, they talked about big time, and then obviously he got the hand injury, which he was out for like several weeks for. You got Cody Kessler, who will be the starting quarterback this week. I actually like this guy a lot. I don't think he's going to put up gigantic numbers, but he does do some pretty good things. Then you got your Gary Barnage, and also, little known fact, I actually figured this out like a week or 2 ago. Dwayne Bowe is actually sitting on their roster, but he hasn't seen any field time, so I'm wondering what he's doing there. In addition to that, defensive weaknesses, let's be honest here, people. They got weaknesses everywhere. In terms of their rankings for how many yards they let up per game, rushing and receiving, it's pretty bad. They give up a lot of yards to tight ends too, so it's a big loss for them on the defensive side of the ball. But there still is a lot of hope on the offensive side of the ball because somehow, some way, out of nowhere, they have the 5th best offensive line in the league, which just blows my mind. And in addition to that, they've been getting very creative lately with a lot of their different formations, like last game with the 3-down lineman, and then Isaiah Crowell lined up on the inside, went right up the seam, and they confused him just enough that they had a big pocket where Isaiah Crowell was able to pick up the ball and run with it. Anyways, Baltimore coming in at 4-4 injuries. As far as we know, there are no major injuries, which is incredible. No injuries that would really impact the starting lineups and things like that. Their impact players: Terrence West, young kid, he's been killing it. He's been doing a great job. I actually was told to pick him up by a friend of mine on my fantasy team. He's been doing fantastic as a nice little RB2, RB3 action. So, or even a flex rather. Steve Smith Sr., another big guy on the team. Mike Wallace and Joe Flacco. I personally believe that Joe Flacco is extremely overpaid. He actually, in my opinion, kind of screwed the team because his contract is so big, and I don't know. Anyways, defensive weaknesses: they are the 19th ranked defensive front, which would imply to me that they let up a good amount of yards. I think Isaiah Crowell is going to be able to do some work with that. And in addition, their offensive line is the 13th best in the league, which means that Terrence West could potentially also have a good day. I think this is going to be a big running matchup. However, I also believe that Joe Flacco will be able to air some out pretty successfully compared to Cleveland, who has a pretty fantastic defense that they're actually going against. Next, for our long week matchups, we have Atlanta versus Philadelphia. They're going off at Sunday at 1 p.m. Atlanta's coming in at 6-3. Philadelphia's coming in at 4-4. Injuries: we got Tevin Coleman and Jacob Tamme for Atlanta, who are currently injured. Tevin Coleman's actually, that's a big deal because he's been supplementing Devonta Freeman, and actually, theoretically, he's been doing better as well because he ends up soaking in a lot of touchdowns. Jacob Tamme is not a big loss for them because they don't really go to the tight end, but at the same time, there have been quite a few big plays that he's made in addition to Julio and Mohamed Sanu. And then for the Philadelphia, I don't think they have any at the moment, but they are in a very interesting situation where they're actually swapping out Ryan Matthews for Darren Sproles, which I find very intriguing. And in addition to that, they have Jordan Matthews, Zach Ertz, and Carson Wentz as their impact players. Now, here's the thing. I think Carson Wentz is going to have a big impact on this game because he's been trending downward so big. And yes, that does in fact mean that I am picking Atlanta to win this game. I think they're going to blow them out. Potentially. I know it is a Philadelphia home game, so it may not be as big of a blowout, but it'll be a significant win. And in addition to that, for impact players, you got Julio Jones, Devonta Freeman, Mohamed Sanu, and Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was just named the NFC Player of the Week. Of course he was. I don't blame anybody for naming him that. He's been absolutely destroying the league this year with all of the stats that he's been putting up, all the fantasy points he's put. It's been absolutely unbelievable. Anyways, defensive weaknesses. Philadelphia is the 21st ranked defense, whereas Atlanta is the 28th ranked defense. It's very surprising that Philadelphia is ranked the 21st because they got off to such a hot start. But once again, just like Carson Wentz, I pretty firmly believe that Philadelphia is on their way down. They're starting to lose that flash in the pan that they originally had, or the bottle of lightning that they used to be, whereas Atlanta has been keeping up their absolute just deadliness of their attack, but their defense is fairly wide open. So hopefully Atlanta defense figures it out and they just keep on rolling. Offensive lines, Philadelphia is the 12th ranked, whereas Atlanta has the 4th, which would explain a lot as to why Atlanta has been doing so well with Matt Ryan keeping him safe. Then we have Chicago, who's coming off the bye, versus Tampa Bay, who has the long week. Chicago's coming in at 2-6, and Tampa Bay is coming in at 3-5. I think Chicago, they're doing exactly how they should be doing, and I think Tampa Bay is actually underperforming by quite a bit. I think Tampa Bay is going to be the winners. Injury report: Brian Hoyer is currently injured, which is a big deal because I think the entire city and state just does not like the current quarterback. They absolutely hate him. Jay Cutler, he has been God, I don't know how to properly say this, but he's just been so bad, and he has been just ravaging the team just by being terrible, and in addition to that, having the worst attitude ever. Eddie Royal, we're also looking at him. I'm not sure if he's going to actually play the game or not. He is up there in age, but I don't know. It's harder and harder for him to get back every time is what I'm noticing. For Tampa Bay, it is a laundry list. You got Charles Sims, Vincent Jackson, Antone Smith just went out, Jaquiz Rodgers, and Doug Martin. They have gone through literally 4 running backs this season, and however, all 4 of them have produced. So, whatever they're doing over there, they're actually crushing it with the running backs. Impact players, you've got Jordan Howard, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Miller for Chicago. I think those 3 are going to continue to do decently well. I think, however, Alshon Jeffrey is going to end up taking a hit because his stock is very high, but his quarterbacks are very low. So we'll see what happens there. Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Jameis Winston, and Peyton Barber. Is that the guy who's going to come in next? I hope so. He's actually pretty good. Mike Evans rolled last week. Absolutely rolled. He had a great game. I think Cameron Brate this is his game where he's going to break out a little bit too. Chicago is ranked 9th in the defense, and Tampa Bay is ranked 31st. So Tampa Bay has been supplementing their bad defense with their great offense, and in addition to that, Chicago doesn't have the best offense. So hopefully they can take advantage of that. Offensive lines, Chicago has the 16th best, and Tampa Bay has the 23rd worst, I guess. So yes, I am picking Tampa Bay to win. They are at home. They have the better record. They have the better movement forward, if you will. I think they have the better team in this case, and also in addition to that, as they start to get some of their guys back off of the injury, like Vincent Jackson, they'll become even more deadly. So anyways, yeah, I'm picking Tampa Bay to win that game, and hopefully it's going to be a great week. Tomorrow we'll be coming back with more matchups for you. So for today's video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so that you can come and get these videos every day. Anyways, have a great night and enjoy your Thursday tomorrow, and it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Go football.